If it's a Lake Norman Chamber event, if it's a business event, I know that Danny Phillips is going to show up to support business in the area. Danny has been a friend of mine for many years and a strong supporter of business of all sizes over the years. Commissioner of Huntersville. Danny, thank you for taking. I know I had to pull you to get you to sit down here for a second, but thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us for a minute.
I'm glad to have you, Joe.
Talk a little bit about what the Chamber means to you and your business, because a lot of people don't seem to know Danny has a small business, right? You know,
I'm as small as it gets.
You're trying to make a living, right?
Yes, sir.
You know, and
yes, sir.
Doing all of the Huntersville board stuff and also Chamber stuff. So talk a little bit about how the Chamber is helpful.
Well, the Chamber's helpful, and I encourage people to get involved and become members of the Lake Norman Chamber. I'm kind of prejudiced when it comes to Lake Norman Chamber. I think it's the greatest one that's out here. Somebody that wants to start a business or is in the mindset of owning their own business could actually learn to run a company just coming to our events.
Yeah.
I've never seen a chamber that has the ability to put on programming as far as teaching people, as far as the simple things from accounting to advertising. I mean, it's just such a broad spectrum. They do such a great job. I can't say enough good about it.
And I'm going to say something else. All they got to do is run into you, and you'll be more than happy to tell them, come on down to the fruit stand. You'll sit down with them for an hour and a half and give them your wisdom on small business.
Oh, absolutely. But, you know, the old store is mine and my wife's, and she is the boss. I'm the field hand. We run a little old small farm. But really and truly, I enjoy going to the Focus Fridays. If you want to keep up on major issues, small issues in the area, the Lake Norman Chamber just does such a fine job. I mean, just excellent. From insurance, which is always a constant battle. But if you're a small guy, to give you the ins and outs, they bring in the people from Novant, from the local hospitals and work with them tremendously. Just every level of business, from accounting, insurance, legislative updates, which I enjoy.
You went right where I wanted to go, and that is most small business people, and I kind of learned this from you and some other commissioners, business and government are connected. Whether we like it or not, as small business people, we'd like to stay out of politics, but we can't. Can you talk about the benefits of being associated with government and small business, because they really do work together in a way that sometimes it's hard to see if you're this business guy just going to work every day. I should say guy and gal going to work every day. Yeah.
But that is so true, Joe, on a small level. And what got me involved into the politics was over rezoning. And that's, again, where our chamber steps up. They advocate and work with small businesses. And as a commissioner of Huntersville, you know, the small companies is really the backbone of our area.
Yes.
As anyone should know that, you should.
Yep.
I mean, our little local papers, from even the Lake Norman Chamber of Commerce to your car dealer to somebody as small as I am, just a small mom and pop produce stand, as I like to call it, as we call it, the old store. But still, on that smaller level, you think of the little independent insurance guy, not even our little local regional banks. I mean, there's issues that affect us all.
Yeah.
And that's, again, one of the things I just take such pride in the Lake Norman Chamber of doing, is trying to educate us.
But not only that, but I can go to a networking function, I can pull you to the side, and I said, Danny, let's talk about this issue for me that's government related, and we can have that one-on-one. Where else can you do that?
You can, and that's the thing. That is, again, one of the greatest things about our chamber. And I encourage people to get involved, and don't ever hesitate. It's so many functions I go to, I try to pick out people that's standing over in the corner that's not sure, get them around it and introduce them. But at the same token, anybody that's got a problem in Huntersville, most time they know how to find me.
Yeah. We know where you are.
You know, there's people from the big corporate boards it would blow your mind who shows up, as I call it, hits the swing. And in politics in the local area, a lot of times they say you ain't nobody if you ain't sit down there. So we have from senators, congressmen, I can't even name the House members. It's been very interesting. Our insurance commissioner, which again, so much in business is relationships.
Yeah.
And that's where the Lake Norman Chamber does such a great job.
I know you want to get to the drinking and the food. Thank you so much, my friend, for taking the time to sit down. It is such a pleasure, and it's an honor for me to call you my friend.
Well, Joe, anytime I can do anything for the Lake Norman Chamber, I'm here. I try to make as many events as I possibly can, and I want to thank you for what you do.
Thank you, my friend.